Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. Well, it rained a lot last night and it rained a lot the night before. So here we are taking a look at the nice green grass and my front garden bed. This is a garden bed that gets all sun, and about, I would say 10 years ago, I had a giant maple tree. I believe it was a Norway maple here, and I had to have it taken down because it was getting diseased. So after that, I planted this weeping cherry tree, and then I created this bed with these boxwoods, and they were very small when I first had them. So I've grown them and groomed them into giant meatballs. And then I connected the two beds last year. So this is the first season for the garden that is in between the boxwoods and the weeping cherry. And I'm pretty darn pleased with the way that it came out. I planted quite a few annuals and perennials, many of which I got on clearance because I am the plant saver, or one of the few that there are who likes to buy plants on sale and rehab them. Two of the plants that you see poking up, that they are the orange barberry skyrocket. Those have grown about 6 inches this year, maybe even more, maybe 8, and they're going to grow very vertically. I needed something that was going to be taller and skinnier, but also to bring a little color into this bed. And I'm loving the way that these orange mums that I planted along the front, you can see right along here, they just look so pretty and offset that orange barberry. And then I have a couple of orange mums on the other side, which we'll look at here and here. The giant rock in the middle, it may not look that big on camera, but it is so big that my husband had to take a 2x4 and some wood and put it between the pickup truck and the ground to create a ramp in order for him to push it up. It was that heavy. But isn't it pretty with all the lichen on it? I love it. Then I have a couple of autumn joy sedums in front of that rock, along with some purple salvia, which is all done blooming. And then some powwow, I think it's called pink berry, in the front there, along with, right at the very edge of the rocks, some dianthus. So those are the ones in the very front. And dianthus are really, they're perennial here in Zone 5B in Michigan, but they are kind of short-lived because over time they become a bit woody and die off. But they'll be pretty for a few years because this is the first year that I planted them. So probably 3 years is about what I'll get out of them in my yard. The Dreamland geranium that I planted right over here is blooming. And then I have some Veronica right behind it. And pretty much planted this bed in a symmetrical way. And I wanted to make sure that I added some places to step because I knew I was going to fill it up with lots of plants. And eventually it would be very difficult to figure out where to step. So I started out by putting stepping stones in there, at least enough for me to be able to get around without really pushing down on the soil too much and making it harder for things to grow, because roots do not like compressed soil. So in front of the two barberries, I have a couple of bushes, one right here and one right here. And these are both rehab bushes. I bought those both on sale, so they do look a little bit scraggly, but not too shabby. They are Yuzi Cherry Blossom Deutzia. I swear if you sneezed, you couldn't get all of that out. Again, it's Yuzi Cherry Blossom Deutzia. They're by Proven Winners, and they're actually apparently some type of a relative, maybe of a hydrangea. But they have very pretty bell-shaped pink and white flowers in the spring that kind of hang down. So I don't have a lot that's spring blooming in this bed other than some daffodils that I planted. So I'm very excited about that. And they stay about 1 to 2 feet tall and wide, which we'll see, because I swear everything that I put in my yard gets bigger than what it says it will do on the tag. I get gargantuan plants sometimes. I think the soil that I have, while it's heavy in clay, has a lot of nutrients in it, which is probably why they do a lot of farming in our state. Anyways, all of the colors just look so pretty to me. I do have a couple of petunias left in here. And so I've got to pull those out, a couple of purple ones. Those are the Supertunia Vista Bordeaux by Proven Winners, and they're quite beautiful. They're one of my favorites. I just like the dark veining in them. So we'll just come up here and take a little closer look. The barberry. Look at all the droplets of water on each individual leaf. Isn't that pretty? And then I have a hydrangea quercifolia. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It is an oak leaf hydrangea. And this is very pretty. I just love the big foliage, and it should be putting on a fall show for me. As I understand it, these leaves will turn a bit of a dark or rusty red, and I think that will be really pretty. So I'm just going to kind of show you some of the flowers also. I've gotten a few this year, not a ton, but I didn't expect it to bloom profusely since it was the first year. And so this is the view as I back up that I see from inside my house, which is why I really wanted to connect these two garden beds, because to me, being able to look out the window and have a view like this just makes me so happy. The mums over here that are underneath of the cherry tree are like a dark pink, and they are perennial and they come back every year. And I often split them up and place them around the garden in places where I need a little more fall color, but they're just getting ready to burst open. And I thought that adding some orange mums this year was going to be a nice way to go. I have two more Veronica here on either side of the mum. I didn't get to see those bloom this year because I did buy those on clearance and it was just after they had bloomed. So I expect those to be sort of a early to mid-summer blooming plant. And those will be a bluish purple. A couple of really big sages here in the middle, right there. And then over on the other side to match. And then on the sides, I have a very light pink sage. I kind of like the way that those colors look together. Aren't they pretty? Pink and purple, and even the orange. And so the salvia kind of play off the upright habit of the barberry. But then the coneflower really gives a whole different aspect to it, both up front here as well as then in the far distance. So it's kind of matching on either side of the bed, no matter which way you look, along with the larger leaves of the hydrangea. So as this bed fills in, I'm very excited to see the progress. Under the weeping cherry, you can see the remains of the allium that I have. I believe it is Purple Sensation allium. So it's quite tall. It is about 2 to 3 feet tall, and it blooms in the springtime and just stands up really pretty up above all of the other things starting to flesh out. And so that actually goes around in a circle right behind the hostas, but in front of the mums. And hopefully I'll be able to show you that when they come up again this spring, because I split them this spring to be able to have enough of them to go all the way around this tree. And again, some more dianthus and autumn joycetum, along with the purple coneflower, which is the echinacea. I also have some variegated sedum, which starts about here and comes around the front, and it is a really nice accent in the front because it's a lighter color, and so it stands out against the dark foliage of the purple coneflower. And then back in behind the purple coneflower is some of that Japanese fern. And that's something I just transplanted this year before it got super hot out, so it struggled a little bit these last few weeks. And I think it will really get its roots set in this fall and be happy in the springtime, so it will just bush out a bit next spring. So there we have it. That is the front sun garden, looking oh so lovely for fall. Well, thanks for joining me today again on another tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like my video, and subscribe to my channel. If you want to get notifications of new videos, go ahead and click on the notification bell. I'll see you soon. Bye.